what I want to talk about is the actual regulation, because that's what's actually on the hearing call. We do, there's been a tremendous amount of discussion. Well, I can use this.
Yes.
We could do both. Okay. The thing is that what's in front of us right now is this, the revised version of the regulation. And so a lot of what we've heard in terms of justification for this is practically blackmail, because it is not relevant to the regulation. It's relevant to the difference between how it might be implemented and what is currently legally on one piece of property. A couple of things that concern me. First, I agree with Attorney Pattis. I'm not sure that this is legal, that you can just go, oh, well, we don't think so. We'll put an overlay district on top of an overlay district that undoes the mandate of the court. Especially if we decide that the only place we're going to put this now is on top of places where 830Gs have been. I have a funny feeling that the courts would just throw us out immediately if you say that's our response to an 830G is to just have another thing that we put on top of it. That doesn't work that way. I'm not sure how it works, but that's not how it works. Let's see. In terms of this one, I have some concerns. 2333 was just revised, and I want to know what's wrong with our existing definitions of open space and why we have to include in open space areas for shared activities and agricultural planting areas, grazing areas, orchards, meadows, vegetable, fruit, and animal farming. And here's the one that gets me, and associated buildings. Okay, so these are not just farm buildings. These could also be the shared activity buildings as part of the open space. Okay. Then 2341. This is a floating overlay zone that may be applied in the housing opportunity district. First of all, as I said, I think that that's kind of very, very, this whole thing in terms of that parcel is very legally suspect. But the word here is may, doesn't say must, doesn't say is limited to. And even if you said it was limited to, that would last exactly as long as the next person with a piece of property came along and said, I want this on my property, you can't tell me I can't. Or else it would be what they'd say to you, because blackmail works, let's do an 830G. You give me this, or I'll give you an 830G, and then you can have this. And it's blackmail. Then, I have one more comment on this part. I think the changes to mandate, the change here that mandates some accessible housing is a good thing. I don't think it's enough. I don't think there's enough here to meet the needs of the people in our town. And I want to draw the attention of the commission again to page 16 of the town plan under land use measures, item number 3C, adopt regulations allowing for open space development in specified areas if it can be demonstrated through further study that applying such regulations as a means of preserving open space and other important resources is a locally viable tool. Footnote 6 down at the bottom. In this context, this is taken to mean that open space developments maintain the underlying density established by standard zoning. However, open space development may allow development to be clustered or grouped for and as a means of preserving the remaining undeveloped land as permanently protected open space. This is what Mr. Tressel was talking about. That's what the town plan and the regulations we're trying to get to happen with open space developments. Don't change the density, but develop regulations that will allow for clustering to minimize infrastructure and to preserve space. That's what this regulation said. And that, I think, is the kind of cluster that's appropriate for the town of Bethany.